You know, it's actually crazy how much time people spend in fear, worrying about things that end up keeping them out of their passion and doing what they love. And a lot of the time, the things that they're scared of never end up happening. And then they'll wonder, why did I spend so much time and energy worrying about that thing? It's kind of like gas is $2.50, but it's $2.20 8 miles away. So you drive all the way to that gas station when you would have used more fuel driving that 8 miles than it would have been just going down the street to that gas station that was near you. Now, I'm gonna first of all admit, I was actually pretty fearful making this video myself. Now, exactly why that was? Why? Because I thought somebody from high school is going to go and comment on my videos. Doesn't matter if somebody does or doesn't. But one thing I realized, that's just my mind making projections onto reality. That's just my belief about reality. And that reality is just a reflection of your beliefs about yourself, about money. There's a big payoff that comes with that. And that fear serves a purpose. Fear serves a purpose to keep us safe. Why? Because, oh, I'm scared if I make this YouTube video, something is gonna happen. But really, you don't know if that's going to happen or not. You don't know what's going to happen in your reality. But a lot of times people don't know how to surrender to God, the divine, the universe. And that fear, that anxiety can turn into excitement, passion. So if you're living in fear, I want you to ask yourself this one question. What does that fear exist for? You might realize that that's just a protective mechanism. It's just a protective mechanism because if you step into the unknown, if you do something that's not familiar to you, there's uncertainty. There's uncertainty there. You don't know what's going to happen. It's so woo-woo because you don't know what's going to happen. But really, the unknown is where all the magic happens. Whether it's posting that YouTube video, applying for that job, buying that car that you debated on buying, anything you do that's unfamiliar could be actually the biggest breakthrough you've ever had. It can be very transformative. But subconsciously, I don't know if it's subconsciously, it's more of our biological human nature. We love to fight for the familiar. That's why a lot of times your parents, maybe a friend you had in the past, similar dynamics will show up in other people. You won't attract the same person, but similar dynamics will start coming up in other people for the rest of your life. Why? Because it's in your energetic field. It's familiar to you. It's your belief about reality. Because it's all you're worthy of. And guess what? You get to be right about reality. Oh, I posted that video, I got 0 views. Oh, I get to be right. I thought I would get 0. It's the first video you posted. That's what I did. It's the first video you posted and you got 0 views, but if you would have kept doing it like 1,000 more times, which so many other people would have done, you probably would have been successful. Or if it's like a job, someone rejects your application. Rejection isn't always a bad thing. You might come to realize that job might not be so good. That job, if you would have gotten in there, it probably would have been the worst thing you've ever done. And you might want to get out of it. Now, here's the $80,000 question that most people are going to ask. How do I let go of fear? Well, the first step to letting go of fear is surrendering to something greater than you. Realizing you don't know what's best for you. You don't know what could happen. And asking yourself this question. If you can't predict, if you can't predict that, because if you don't know what's going to happen, if you don't know what events could occur in your life, what's the point in worrying about it? What if you were wrong? What if you shifted your perspective of that? And what if you actually started doing things that you love doing things that were in your passion, doing things that you love, doing things that allow you to follow your happiness, and letting go of those old limiting beliefs, because that fear, those limiting beliefs exist for a reason, because that protective fear served a purpose. It kept you out of your passion. It kept you out of making important moves that would have gotten you through very important breakthroughs, which would have changed your life. This is why meditation can really help with this stuff, because it's like thanking your fear. It's weird, but it's like a paradox. It's weird. It's like thanking your fear for protecting you and then releasing it. Realizing that's no longer a part of your identity anymore. That's no longer a part of your sole purpose anymore. And then when you let go of that fear and you surrender and say, hey, I don't know what's going to happen in life. I'm just doing what makes me happy. And all of that doing what makes you happy leads you to your passion. It leads you to the $3 billion you've always wanted. Not saying that could happen or that couldn't happen, but when you finally let go of that fear, it can be very transformative, because that fear is essentially pointless. If you can't predict that, why are you fearing? What if you were wrong? That's the question I always have people like ask themselves. I'm like, what are you scared? Like literally, what are you scared of? And it's like you give that emotion the acknowledgement, and then realizing maybe as a child it wasn't okay to be in your passion, it wasn't okay to be happy, and then maybe that's just a belief that's followed you into your adulthood. If you're in your passion and you're doing what you love, that's a bad thing. And some people are taught that as kids. And then that follows them into their adulthood. And then they fear, oh, what if I do that? There's nobody in my reality to tell me, okay, Sebastian, you can make YouTube videos now. Okay, Sebastian, you can do your hair a certain way. I admit my hair is kind of crazy today, but I'm just feeling that, to be honest with you. Because you're so familiarized with someone else having to give you validation that now there's fear around doing things that aren't certain to you. Because you've had to rely on other people's validation. It's like suddenly when someone tells you're handsome, you finally feel handsome. Really, you can feel handsome. That emotion exists inside of you already. Like if I actually like tricked you and like the email looked like legit and I said you won the sweepstakes, and it was some secret company. It was some secret company that I own, right? Or whatever. And I actually tricked you into thinking that you won the sweepstakes. You won a Porsche Cayenne Turbo and $2 million. And it looks so legit. And you're getting all excited. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You're freaking out. You're freaking out so much. But haha, I tricked you. Hehe. It's so weird because you felt that excitement already. That emotion existed inside of you. So yeah, I got like way off track. But that kind of ties back to, you can feel valid already. You can feel like, hey, it's okay to step into the unknown. I don't need somebody else to tell me to do so. Therefore, there's no fear surrounding it. It has no purpose anymore. Its only purpose was to protect you and keep you out of your passion, because usually as a child, and it's not always in childhood, we pick up on beliefs all the time. It may be our ex that we just broke up with yesterday, or somebody said something mean to us last week. We may have picked up on a belief from that. It's not always childhood. I feel like a lot of people get that wrong. But it's that realizing that feeling worthy, whole, and complete, and there's no more fear around there anymore. That emotion already exists inside of you because you're infinite. You can feel any emotion that you want to. It's almost like you're hiking on top of a mountain and you're carrying this heavy backpack with like 10 books in it, and you finally take it off. It's like, oh my God, that was like, why the heck was I carrying that around? It was because it was serving such an unnecessary purpose. And then you finally do something that makes you feel light, and you follow that track. Then your reality will begin to shift. And then that fear will actually transform into passion. Because fear is really just anxiety in disguise. And when you finally do this, you'll realize there's no end goal to get to. There's nobody to really impress anymore. It's all about just making yourself happy. It's all about just being in your passion. Then at that point, there's no more fear. Fear doesn't have any power over you. Because nothing in reality has any other meaning than the meaning that you give it. That's why you can let fear run you, or you can run yourself. And of course, that belief, that fear, will still occasionally arise. And it still arises for me sometimes. But when you finally realize and you let go of that belief and you surrender to something greater than you, and you allow that divine energy to flow through you, and you get into a flow state where you're just doing what's happy, what makes you happy, what makes you feel light, what makes you feel whole, and what's in your passion, and you just keep following that fear will have less power over you. So I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. And please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel so I can make more videos like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video.